Hey everybody, welcome back to another review with me. I am your host Maxine and we are reviewing Ready to Love season 11 reunion episode 2. So part 2, episode 2 of it. This is the last one. This is the last reunion episode. We are all wrapped up with this season. This again has been a great season. I have enjoyed myself. I think, look, I feel like a lot of y'all who critique these types of shows, right? You base the success of the show on the amount of relationships that have lasted at least by the end of the reunion. Right? I know we got a couple of yeses on decision day. It's not Married at First Sight, but usually by reunion episode, things just fall apart. And the critique is, well, it wasn't a great season because people didn't last. Like, no, we know these couples don't last. We know they're hopeless. We know that. I'm just saying, were you not entertained? Because I was. Okay? I can't say it time and time again how pleased I was with just the visual aesthetic. What's the aesthetic? The aesthetic of this season has been top notch. And towards the end of this episode, Uncle Tommy gave respect to the fashions of Detroit. And I think that has a lot to do with how much I've enjoyed this season. Anyway, let's get into it. So we pick up from where we left off with Dom, right? Dom calling out Bello, calling him a brokey. He's a brokey. But he came back with the 1-2. And I really like how he responded because he said, can you answer this question honestly and tell me, have I not provided for you? Have I not paid the dates that we've been on 20 dinner dates? Okay. And they haven't, because in retrospect, I'm thinking back to it. I'm like, is that even a lot of dates? But being that they didn't last long, 20 is still relatively long, right? It's a lot. So him saying he paid for 20 dinner dates and she's trying to say, well, you never asked me to take money out. Like, bitch, that's the point. I didn't have to ask you because I had it. I had the money to cover this. Okay. And I think that's the thing. A lot of times when things go south in a relationship, you see the woman do two things. The woman says, you was broke. You had no money. You kept asking me to pay the bill. You never put anything down financially. I had to cover everything, yada, yada, yada. Or you're gay, right? Or you like your dick, or you like your booty being played with, right? It's either one of those two things. And the reason for that is it peels away to the masculinity of a man. So if I knock on your identity as a man by calling you out of your sexuality of a straight man and give the impression of you being gay, or I'm gonna call you a brokey, and that's still just as bad in the eyes of a heterosexual black man especially. So, it's like you can't win. It's never going to be on some, no, you know what? I had a good time with him. We laughed, we learned, but we realized we're just not on the same page. It's never on some, just some maturity stuff, right? Some maturity. It's just, no, you are brokey. You had no future. That's why you couldn't see a future with me, because you were broke. You were broke. Of course you can't see a future with me because you're broke. Like, Dom, does it have to be that? Anyway, Dom also claims that he had a girlfriend the whole time and the girl got her number. This girlfriend got her number, so much so that Bello was able to block the number. I don't know how factual that is, but nonetheless, Bello's talking about, I took you out to eat many times. You brought your 3 daughters with you for dinner and I paid for the bill. It was $600. I love that he said that. Mind you, he said this, you know how they go off to break and we see footage of them dispersing. He's talking to the guys and telling them that. He didn't say this on the main stage in front of her. But I love how he mentioned that during that moment here, because that made me look at Dom a little differently. Like, why are you bringing your three? And I'm assuming they're grown. Not grown, but like they're not kids. Okay? She's an older woman. And I'm sure her children are at least in their teenage years. More like 16 and above. So for her to bring her grown, but you know, like, why are you bringing your all your daughters gotta be on this date? But we're not talking, like, my thing is, why are your kids so involved if you and Bello weren't really talking future plans? Okay? And I think that's the thing. Dom wasn't being for real here. Dom wasn't being for real. Despite the amount of times Bello says he's not going to convert her and I'm a practicer Muslim. Bitch, that means you're going to convert your woman, or you're going to want or expect your woman to be Muslim as well. So, and then him also talking about how he wants a kid of his own. I mean, he already has a kid, but I guess he doesn't claim that one. The kid's in Miami, so he doesn't care about that one, I guess. But all in all, him saying, I paid for you and your $3, it was $600, so pay me back. I think at the very least, Dom could have come out of her pocket and said, okay, let me give you at least half. That was kind of wild. I think Dom, I don't know, maybe she's a brokey. Maybe she's the brokey. He said he also gave money towards her bills. He was covering her. So I think that's more of the reason why she was upset that he broke it off. Yes, it was shitty to do it on Christmas Day, I guess, but that ain't got shit to do with him. What is this Christian holiday? What is this paganistic holiday has to do with Bello? Hello? He said he was in a vacuum with Dom. And this is actually very real. And I hate that is a harsh pill to swallow for Dom, but that's what it is. Sometimes you get caught up in your relationship, right? And you're so fixated on them. It's just me and you up against the world. And then you take a breath of fresh air. You go outside one time and then you're bombarded with reality, or you're bombarded with your family asking, okay, what are we doing here? He said he spoke with his family. They were like, yeah, this ain't the one. Go ahead and break it off. Which says a lot to me, because despite Bello being this grown-ass man with a full beard, talking about he has these real estate company and he has this tenant building, whatever it's called. What he has acre of land that he's going to give to black people in different communities. He still is letting his parents dictate who he dates. That says a lot. That says a lot about a man. And I think that tells me he's probably, he is Nigerian. I had to remember that. So a lot of times they're going to take precedence or take priority of what their parents say. But I think at some point you got to stand on it. Because what if he really did love Dom? What if she was at a young enough age where she could have children easily and she wanted to bear a child naturally, and she was interested in becoming Muslim? What if all these things were something that she was going to do, right? If all those factors were in place. I wonder, would Bello still pursue that despite his parents being in disagreement with it? But I'm wondering if those things were even in consideration. Would his parents be in disagreement? Who knows? But I feel like, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like a man just being so quick to be like, well, I can't be with you anymore because my family says so. What? What do you mean? Fuck family. Family fuck my husband. Shout out to Soul Food. No, but like, what? What do you mean? That's just, ew. Stand on your own. But he said he realized that he wants to have children and Dom is not the right fit. It's like, well, you knew. She told you that from the jump. She told you, and I'm not even a Dom fan. I'm not even trying to cape for her. But she told you from the jump that she is not able to conceive anymore, nor is she interested in trying any alternative for her naturally conceiving. If they wanted to have a child together, it would be through surrogacy, period. Okay? But he was so just in her spell, whether she wanted him to be in it or not, like whether it was intentional or not, he was just so in her spell that he didn't hear that. I mean, so maybe he needed his parents to be like, okay, what are we doing? Get up out of here. We get to Devin. Devin is saying how he has no regrets with this experience. He does admit, or the other women said how he told every woman that they're his number one. Nicole called him out on his shit. She said verbatim, he is full of shit. She also said that she hung out with him after the show. Now this gets crazy to me. This gets crazy to me because Nicole is looking bad. Nicole is looking bad and I'm upset. I don't know what Nicole's mindset is, but it's just looking just embarrassing. Like I have low key, high key, I have secondhand embarrassment for her. And I don't know her and I'm only seeing her on the screen, but she is looking bad. She says she's been hanging out with him after the show and she felt gaslit by him. I'm wondering, why is she feeling gaslit by him? She made it seem like they were actively dating and seeing where things could go. But Devin's saying, well, not once when we were hanging out did I make you get the impression that we were more than just friends. He said he says it's only been friendship. He actually called her unhinged. Apparently she went off on him via text. And then she goes on this whole spiel about him being an all lives matter type of man. And she asked him verbatim, did you vote for Kamala? It's a yes or no question. Did you vote for Kamala? First of all, mind your business. How about that? Can we get back to those days? I'm sick of everyone with this. Can we get back to that? Who I vote for is none of your concern. And I don't care this whole, in 2026 it's now. No, it's not. It's still not. It's still not. Who I vote for, what my political allegiance to is none of your concern. Does that pay your bills? Huh? You getting all tight in the butt about it. Girl, bye. She's talking about, I'm an educator and it affects me. Girl, what? It affects you? You let what affects you affects you. Can we go there? You let what affects you affects you. I didn't like that at all. Nicole called him all like, he's not pro-black. What the impression that Nicole gives me is, if you're not blue, then I don't know you. Okay, I had that in my head. No, but seriously, if you don't vote all the way blue, then you are this MAGA through and through. You're a racist. You hate black people. No, it means I don't just suck the dick of Democrats. It means that I'm not just gonna just have this blind allegiance to the Democratic Party just because I'm black. Are you dumb? For her to be an educator and have that type of rhetoric is just ridiculous to me. And I'm not saying you have to be a Republican. I'm not saying you have to be MAGA, right? I'm just saying you don't have to be Democrat just because you're black. Can we just stop there? Shit. At the very least, be Green Party. At the very least, be an independent. But you having this mindset of, well, if he didn't vote for Kamala couldn't say a sentence. Can we go there? Kamala couldn't speak well. Kamala didn't have a clue. I don't care what title she had. I don't care what law history she had. I know she locked up a lot of black men. Can we go there? Can we go there? Shoot. What? Oh, yeah, all lives matter. Well, if we want to be technical, all lives do. Can we go there? I mean, obviously, Black Lives Matter. Don't get it twisted. But I think, okay, so Devin's trying to say he didn't say he was all lives matter, but what he was saying was, or what I got the impression of was like, oh, if you're not answering this question the way I want you to answer this question, then your all lives matter, right? If you're not immediately telling me, yes, period, I voted for Kamala, then you're telling me, like, you're lying to me, right? Like, or like, and I think Devin is a type to want to have a further conversation about these topics and not just repeat this same worn out, illogical reasoning behind this blind loyalty a lot of black people have towards the Democratic Party. What have they done for you? Oh, it's just the image of a black woman on the screen is enough for you? What's the plan? Huh? Where the reparations at? Huh? And we could go back to Barack. We don't have to go into Kamala for that. We could go back to Barack. But she want to fix, did you vote for Kamala? Kamala for what? For what? What was her plan? He should have asked her. He probably did ask her that. And she probably felt like, oh, you asking me these questions, that means your all lives matter. Then if that's the case, then I am. If that's the case, then I am. I just think Nicole is silly. I think Nicole is childish. It explains why she is single. And not to bash on, being single. That's not an issue. But for her to be on this show, she's unhinged. She's unhinged. Shannon says Devin is for the streets. Okay, I guess. We get to Vince and Darius. We get to Vince and this whole Vince versus Darius situation. We run their whole package. Did y'all feel like the package that they ran before they got into the scene, did y'all feel like it was too long? Because I did. I feel like it was too, they gave us a whole history. Like, they gave background footage. They gave behind the scenes. They gave B-side, A-side footage. Enough. Get to the damn scene. So Vince explains further why he thinks it wasn't fair to, he feels like it wasn't fair that people were having conversations outside of the lounge about what was happening in the lounge. Then we get to the whole bitch gate, right? How Vince was talking about Lauren. And I wrote it down, the bitch gate. That's what I wrote. But here's the thing. I do feel like this is just blown out of proportion. I think it's so unserious. I think tone matters. Context matters. People get so caught up in just the word of something, but how is it used? Is he using it in jest? Like, is in jest? Is he using it to be funny? Which obviously Vince has played that card since the beginning. Vince was his funny guy since day one. So I can't imagine him really using the word in a derogatory way. Now, some women could feel like, no, you can't use a word at all. Just the word itself is derogatory. Bitch, please. Bitch. I had a friend, an ex-friend, she didn't like the word bitch at all. Like, how, girl, bitch, bye. You know how you say that to your female friends, your girlfriends? Bitch, bye. She had to tell me and the rest of us, the friend group that we were in, that she didn't like that. And we all looked at each other like, okay. I mean, we respected it, whatever. If you don't like it, we won't call you that. But it's just, girl, for what? Like, bitch, it's stupid and it's dumb. But anyway, it was explained further that he was just saying if you want to date Lauren, if you want to date that tall bitch over there, you gotta be the same height as her, type of thing. That's what he was saying. I think that was funny. And even in the backstage, I forget that man's name. He didn't get much of a focus, but he said himself that he was laughing. So that's how unserious it was. He wasn't trying to call her out of her name in a way that's, it wasn't that serious. People just want to play victim and I'm hurt, I'm offended. Bitch, bye. Get over it. Find a bridge and get over it. So yeah, apparently Darius is a tall man. I never got the impression, but apparently he's the same height as Lauren. So he feels like Darius is the right size for Lauren, which is hilarious because remember the whole 6'2" gate or with Lauren's friends just cornering Vince about his height and if he really is 6'2". This whole time, I guess Darius is really 6'2" then. I guess he's the one that they didn't need to corner because he probably is the same height as Lauren. We get to Shannon, and again a long package about her. We get to that scene between Shannon and Darius, which I never believed that they had a connection, so that was just a strange moment. But Shannon, you know how her response was when she learned that Darius's ex was in the adult world. She was a stripper. And that was an 11-year relationship that took place in his 20s. Shannon apologized for making Darius feel judged, which is okay, cool. I like that she apologized. But I thought it was interesting how she was trying to say, oh, she didn't know that they dated when he was in his 20s. I feel like he said that, though. I think she lied. I think she kind of lied to bail herself out. But because I could have sworn during that scene, when that happened in the cabin, during the whole getaway, he said, yeah, I was young and I thought I could change her. He did mention that they were, like, he was young. He didn't date her just yesterday. Let's see. Okay, so Mercedes show up. Mercedes, why is she here? She should have never showed up from the beginning. She should have never showed up from the actual episodes of like the show prior to this reunion. But nonetheless, she's here. She shows up, and I wrote down, is she like the expert now? She literally goes down the line to Shannon's connections or former connections, and she explains why they wouldn't have worked with with Shannon, telling the men about them. Like, girl, why is you here? Why is you here? Shout out to Jocelyn Hernandez. Even the backstage people were saying, why she's here? Like, why is she here? But they didn't get a chance. I think Dawn was about to say that, but she didn't get to finish saying it. Or she cut herself off before she said it. We jump into Steven, okay? So Steven says how he did wait too long to make a deep connection. And Shannon expressed that she thought the world of Steven. She was really into him. He does admit that he wished he would have handled the process differently with Shannon in particular. He says that they had very great conversations, and he still feels for her. Like, he still has a romantic connection with her. This whole time, Lauren is sitting rocking on the seat, and she's on stage with them. So she's sitting rocking on the seat. She rocking in the seat. She's humming. You can tell she's upset because she's not being picked. And I hate using that term, pick me, all that BS crap. But it just felt so evident to me that she was upset because Steven was not picking her. I'm not picking you. He was not picking her. We jump into, so before I continue. So Shannon says how, because Tommy posed a question, well, Shannon, would you be open to rekindling, reconnecting with Steven? Shannon says she wants someone to be, she doesn't know. She doesn't know because she would have appreciated had he been loud about her from the beginning. So it seems like they're up in the air. The door is kind of open, but she's not like, I want to be like, she's not like Nicole or Lauren, just thirsty to get picked. We also learned that Shannon is continuing to go strong in her career, which is amazing. So she's now certified to be a nurse midwife. So that's pretty cool. Good for her. We jump into Darius and Ashley. So Darius, we know his fashions was definitely the main character throughout this season. Ashley really loved his fashions, and Darius really appreciated that about her because in previous connections or relationships that he's been in or dating situations, he said those women would call his fashion flamboyant. So he really liked that Ashley accepted him as he is. Lauren called Darius while they were on a date. Okay, so I wrote this down because this is what happened, apparently. But Lauren's in the background like, what? As if she didn't call him, but she did call him. But it got clarified that I guess Lauren had some business dealings and she wanted his advice or feedback. My thing is with Lauren, why is she still up in here? In the business, she's in the business between Vince and Donna. She's in the business with Bello. She's in the business with Darius. When did she have a connection with Darius? And even though it was quote unquote just a business call, a business friendship, what's the business? Anyway, that was so annoying for Ashley because she already had an issue with Darius being so accessible to women. And I think because Darius already has a career in which he is working closely with women because he's in the fashion industry, apparently, on top of him working as this exotic car owner, like rental car owner. He also has a career in fashion, apparently, and he has access to a lot of women because of that. And that picks at the insecurity of Ashley. And I have to call a spade a spade. That is an insecurity of Ashley. I do think that is an insecurity of Ashley. But I think that if Darius maybe didn't give the impression that he's overly friendly or sometimes men who are just too charismatic, it's just like, damn, you flirting with everybody? Like, am I the one or am I one of five? Like, which one is it? And I think Darius, he just has a very charismatic nature to him that will make every woman feel like, oh, he's talking to me. He's talking to me. And that was enough for Ashley. When she saw that Lauren called him while they were on a date, she told Darius, go ahead, pick it up. Darius didn't want to pick up the phone, which I thought that was weird, right? If it's just a business friendship, why can't you just pick it up right then and there? Right? Why can't you put this bitch on speaker? What's the business? What's the LLC? What's hello? Did you what's the storefront? Is it a brick and mortar? So I didn't like that. He should have picked up the phone to calm her nerves. But that gave me the impression that maybe it really wasn't solely a business friendship. I think with Lauren, she wants to be picked bad. She wants to be picked. She wants to be picked down. She wants your attention. Even if she's not really into you, she wants your attention. And that's what I'm seeing to be a trend with Lauren. Something's wrong with her. Her and Nicole. So anyway, he didn't pick up the call. The following day, Ashley texts Darius. She said, I can't do this anymore. That was enough for her. So she was already insecure about him having access to women, and seeing another woman call the phone, even though he claims it was just a business friendship, she just wasn't secure about it. So she let it go. And look, at this point, if you're with a man who's not going to make you feel secure about your status with him, I think it is best for you to let it go. I do. And I don't think it's about Darius necessarily working in an industry that has a lot of women in it. I think it's about Darius's inability to make his woman feel secure with him. Because it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if I'm working at the strip club as the strip club owner, which I think he was doing at some time, right? Yeah, he was. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. You should make me feel secure in this relationship, so much so that I don't give a damn what your job title is. I don't give a damn who's your coworker. Okay? I should feel so secure in this relationship that I am set. I'm fine. This bitch could call me. Lauren could call me, and I don't give a damn because my man makes me feel secure in this relationship. But Darius lacks that. Yeah, so Ashley feels like he's just too friendly. She's not into that. And she also felt like he wasn't really trying to get to know her, because I guess he didn't really focus on her after the show wrapped up. Instead, he kept talking about the billboards and just the fame and the opportunities that this show could give him. And she was really hoping that he was going to get to know her and continue to delve into this relationship. Darius's impression was, well, this whole situation, like this whole experience with being on the show was just a lot. And he felt like he needed to start from the beginning after the show wrapped up, which I didn't understand that mindset. But I mean, I've never been on the show before, so I don't know. I guess it is overwhelming. But we also learned that Vince, how did I get in it, right? But Vince apparently took Ashley shopping. Okay, Vince, what is Donna, at this point, Donna, wrap it up with Vince. But I mean, look, Donna did say, because we can't forget, Donna did say that they both decided that they would continue to date other people as they're still dating each other. And the reason why she was annoyed with him was he never told her that, hey, by the way, I'm also kind of seeing where things are going with me and Lauren. So that really was the issue and the obstacle that ended her and Vince. But Vince suddenly taking Ashley shopping, that was strange. Ashley shrugging her shoulders like, so what? He wants to take me shopping. Girl, Ashley, are you obtuse? Darius is saying, well, that's not wifely behavior. And I don't think it is. I think he's right. Ashley does say, look, if you want wifely behavior, you have to act like a husband. This whole, act like a husband before you're the husband. Act like the wife before you're the wife. Can we just be ourselves? And whoever we are, if it is in alignment with who we want our spouse to be, then great. But this whole idea, because what is acting like a husband or a wife? What does that mean? Because shouldn't you just naturally be cooking and cleaning? Shouldn't you just naturally be protecting and providing? I'm not saying you got to cover my bills necessarily, which, don't get me wrong, that'll be great. But I'm just saying the qualities that you want in a husband, you should also want in, like, these should be the same qualities in just who you are right now prior to being a husband. So, like, suddenly you're just, once you're a husband, you're a whole different person. That's just so silly to me. You're not. You're just magnified in who you already are. And if who you already are, if that person is not naturally a protector, a provider, naturally a support system that you could rely on, and in reverse, the wife naturally being a comforter, a nurturer, then what are we doing? What are we doing? By the way, Ashley's shrugging her shoulders. I don't see what the issue is. He want to take me shopping. Girl, just like you wouldn't want him to, I'm sure she would not appreciate seeing Darius take another woman shopping. Of course, you could understand why Darius wouldn't appreciate you allowing Vince, of all people, the same man he just went back and forth with on the last episode, You think he'll be okay with Vince taking her shopping? And Vince did that on some G shit. He definitely was trying to uh just stick it to Darius. You girl, Ashley's messy. Ashley's messy and dangerous. She's the type of woman that you should not be with, because once you get mad at her or once you try to hold her accountable, she does some petty stuff. And that's petty. You know damn well you knew Vince and Darius didn't get along. And you allow Vince to take you shopping? Are you okay? Anyway, Ashley did say she is open to moving to rekindling or reconnecting with him, but she wants to move forward. So I guess, what does that mean? Do you want to move forward with me, or you just don't want to talk about the past? Darius says the same thing. He doesn't want to move forward. He is interested in reconnecting with her. We'll see how that goes. Nowhere. That's my prediction. So we get the confession booth with Lauren. Lauren denies dating Darius. It was nothing more than just a business situation, apparently. But what's the business? That's what should have been clarified. What's the business? She also says Ashley shouldn't put her insecurities on her. And I agree. I do have to agree with that. I think Ashley do have some insecurities, but I do think it's a lot on Darius than it is on anybody else. And I feel like Darius needs to make his woman feel secure, but I think Ashley needs to learn how to feel secure within herself also. So it's like having a double whammy of security is great. We get to Vince, and Vince did not. Okay, so I wrote this down. Yeah, let me talk about. Okay, so Tommy brings up Vince and his connection with Nicole. He asks if Vince will be interested in rekindling with Nicole. And he used the word rekindling, right? So Vince immediately has his face on and he's like, rekindling? I don't know about rekindling. And Tommy's like, well, there was something there. There was a connection there. But Vince says, well, yeah, I mean, there is a connection there. But I didn't like how he said that, right? I didn't like how he said, I don't know about rekindling, as if there was no kindling happening. What are you talking about? So you're saying there is a connection, but there was no rekindling? I think he was trying to save face for Donna, trying to say, no, me and Nicole, we never hooked up. We never, I promise you, there's no rekindling there. He's still trying to deny Nicole and deny what she said earlier about how her and Vince went all the way. Yeah, we did all the things. We did all the Nicole trying to appear like, look, he did pick me. He fucked me. He fucked me, right? Nicole pleading with her life, trying to appease to the fact that Vince picked her for a moment for the sheets, I guess. Oh, Nicole, I'm cringing for you so hard. I wish you the best. I wish you the best, girl, because this is not looking good for you. She's sitting there in the background just smiling like, oh, yes, yeah, he is open to, he does admit that there's a connection here. Nicole, bye. If you don't leave Vince alone, and look, I do like Vince. I just like him as a person. I think he's interesting. I think he's funny. I think he's probably a cool time. But Nicole, you're embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself. Okay, and the episode wraps up like this, okay? We wrap up with Tommy giving credit to the Detroit fashions, and then they wrap up with the Detroit hustle. So shout out to this season. This was a great season. I hope everyone is doing well. Let me know what y'all think about this season, this reunion. Did Dom play herself, or did Bello really play her? Did Dom play herself, or did Bello really play her? Okay, I want to give a shout out to another new subscriber. Hello. Hold on, let me get her name. Yes, shout out to Veronica Benson. Shout out to you, girl. I really appreciate your subscription. This is so great. I love every new subscriber. You found me. You're here. Thank you. Go ahead and leave a comment. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.